Guys, so today is one of those days that comes along every once in a while where we are just being engulfed by astrological energetics that are having a very powerful and a very transformative impact on our minds, on our emotions, on our feelings. We're really in a process today of coming back into personal truth and personal power, and it's being brought to us by actually three specific aspects that are coming into exact effect today. Welcome back to my channel, everybody. Today is Thursday, September 16th, 2021. My name is Aubrey, and this is your astrological outlook of the day. So let's start it off. Like I said, we have three big time aspects coming into exact effect today simultaneously, and honestly I really feel like they're all feeding each other in sort of this like feedback loop that is leading to these really powerful, deep and internal transformations that are going on. Number one, we have the sun at 25 degrees of Virgo today coming into an exact trine with Pluto at 25 degrees of Capricorn. Number two, we have Mercury, the ruler of this current lunar cycle in Virgo that we are in right now, coming into an exact opposition with the Eris Point. I will talk all about this in a little bit. Number three, we have a moon conjuncting Saturn today, while simultaneously Venus is forming an exact square to Saturn as well. And the combination of all of these three energetics together is really just creating this powerhouse, energetic, transformative day. And again, it's really on these very, very deep and internal levels. We are on the hero's journey today, you guys. We are on a journey traversing into the underworld, and we are going to be re-emerging out of these energetics much more purified and very transformed on some very deep levels. Let's get into it. Let's start with the main, well, they're all main aspects, but the aspect that's including the sun, which is going to be a very powerful aspect, and that is the trine from the sun to Pluto today. Now, like I said, this is happening at 25 degrees of their consecutive, or of their signs. And I actually want to start by reading to you guys from one of my favorite astrology books. It's called Planets in Transit by Robert Hand. I reference this book somewhat frequently, and I feel like this is one of my favorite books, and he just does such a good job of explaining the transits. And so I want to read you guys what he's written about this transit, just to sort of like lay the groundwork, because I just feel like he does a really good job in this excerpt. And he's saying, this transit, Pluto, the sun in a trine to Pluto, generally signifies that you need very intense and powerful experiences today so that you can learn everything possible about the inner workings of the world in generally and your life in particular. This is an excellent transit for taking up any kind of investigation or study. Investigation, study, research under a sun Pluto trine are very, they will yield a lot of good results, okay? Look within yourself to determine what motivates you, what you are seeking in life, and what changes you should make so that your life will run more smoothly. Decide what parts of your life should be reformed and then reform them. The transformative energies in your life now allow you to make changes rather easily and to derive great satisfaction from making them. This is very, very profoundly transformative energy. In your contacts with others, you can, if you choose, express yourself forcefully and with considerable impact. This is a good time to make an impression on someone if you need to, but don't use this energy for ruthless or selfish purposes. That is not how we want to be using this energy. If you do, you will set into action powerful and hard to resist forces that will try to drag you down, okay? So we don't want to be dominating others under this energetic, and anyone who is using this energetic to try and dominate, overpower, or control others is likely not going to receive a beneficial outcome from this. Okay, where was I? Instead, use this energy to make your life evolve and grow upwards. This is very self-analytical, self-introspective. We're looking for our root issues, really trying to get to the core of them, and then use the knowledge that we've gained from this to really evolve and to grow upward, out of the depths, out of the underworld, okay? You feel quite forceful and you want to get things done today, so go ahead with that. This is an excellent time for exerting yourself through work that must be done, and in doing it, you will gain more experience and knowledge of yourself, which you can put into good use later. So overall, generally, we are discovering the inner workings of things today and what needs to be reformed and what needs to be transformed. And this is happening collectively. This is happening for all of us. And it really, because it's the sun, it has a lot to do with just like our character, like what makes us feel alive, what gives us our life force, how we grow, how we thrive, and what has been holding us back on a deep root level from being able to do this in the most organic, productive way that truly leads to our full potential and what we can truly evolve and grow into. Now I want to talk for a little minute about the Sabian symbols involved in this Sun-Pluto trine today. For those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. And for those of you who just are unaware at this point, what the Sabian symbols are is they're a group of symbols that describes each and every one of the 360 degrees of the zodiac. Whenever a planet is at a specific degree, making an aspect, discharging that degree, we can look to the Sabian symbols and they just give us more information about why these aspects are happening, what is the underlying purpose for them in the context of the unfolding cosmic blueprint that carries us through time and space, and right now that is leading us into the age of Aquarius. The Sabian symbol for 25 degrees of Virgo, where the sun is today, is a flag at half mast in front of a public building. The Sabian symbol where the earth is today, which is always in a direct polarity to the sun, is at 25 degrees of Pisces, the purging of the priesthood. And Pluto right now at 25 degrees of Capricorn is a store filled with precious oriental rugs. So when I put the symbology of the degrees being emphasized through this aspect today together, what it's telling me is that we are mourning the death of our past constructs and belief systems today that have carried us through our lives up until this point, and that now need to be purged and released so that we can align with our true inner value and and recognize the true power that we actually hold there in that place, in that store that's holding these valuable, precious things, okay? The flag at half mast in front of a public building, this degree a lot of times indicates that we're having to mourn the death or the loss of something. With the earth at 25 Pisces, the purging of the priesthood, this really may be pertaining to our belief systems and what we've put our faith in the past. And it makes sense in the context of what this aspect is doing for us, really asking us to purge, to purify, and to transform the things deep down inside of us. A lot of times this does correlate to our belief systems so that we can actually liberate ourselves to come back into our power and come back into the light and move forward. And then, Pluto at that degree, the store holding the precious oriental rugs, it's really all about this precious value that we hold inside of us, and whether or not we're recognizing that, and whether or not we are embodying that and allowing that value inside of us to be our motivating, driving factor in life right now, and not the fear of what we may lose or what needs to fall away in this process. Another thing that I just want to mention briefly in terms of these Sabian symbols is I've noticed when this specific degree, the flag at half mast in front of a public building, is being activated, it can bring a potential for some type of unfortunate event to occur, or like a false flag possibility or something like that. And with the purging of the priesthood, we could see some type of unfortunate event happen today that ends in some type of like casualty situation or something like that. But on a more metaphorical level, so I mean, it could also play out literally under these energetics, but you know, in terms of the symbolism and like I said, on a more metaphorical level, this is really, you know, purging our own priesthood, like allowing a clearing and a cleansing of things that we've had put faith in and previous belief systems that we've held that we realize are no longer in alignment with us. And we may be mourning the death of these things in this process of traveling through the underworld today, and having to allow these things to fall away so that we can purify and purge and transform. And again, it really is all about coming back to this store of value that we hold inside of us. So I feel like the symbolism being discharged today by the specific degrees in effect, alongside of the fact that we have this Sun Pluto transit that really is speaking largely about the exact same themes. It's being very clear in what's going on right now. And remember, we also have a South Node in Sagittarius that is asking us to release belief systems so that we can move forward into a new reality based on new things that we're learning, new understandings, new information that we're gaining, new things that are coming to us. And we are moving into the age of Aquarius, which is the age of knowledge, the age of self-empowerment, the age of self-mastery. And today is a very integral day in our transformation, in our transcendence, in us moving down that path into embracing these new Aquarian themes and archetypes that are coming in. And we have to go through this process of mourning and release and acknowledging what we have to lose in order so that we can open up to gain so much more. So this is really, you know, being very specific about how this transit is operating and why. And it's just really going to be making some very deep and fundamental changes for us. And it may be a painful process of mourning, release, purging, letting go, but it is for the purpose of really realigning us with that true and authentic, precious value that we hold inside of ourselves so that we can come back into truth, we can come back into authentic alignment, we can step back into our power and begin to gain some mastery over our lives and over our experiences and begin to co-create with universe the path ahead in the fashion of the Aquarian archetype, which is the paradigm that is coming in right now. And it's just the way that things are moving forward into the future. This is a big part of this process today. The next thing that I want to talk about is this Mercury that we have in an opposition with the Eris Point. Again, Mercury is the ruler of this Virgo cycle. We are still in the new moon in Virgo cycle. We're going to be having the full moon in Pisces towards the end of this weekend, which will mark the halfway point in this cycle. And then we'll still have 2 more weeks before the new moon in Libra. So we are still very, very much actually in this Virgo Gemini energy. Virgo Mercury energy. Mercury rules Virgo. So what Mercury is doing right now is very important in our process as well. And Mercury today is at 21 degrees of Libra in an exact opposition to the Eris Point, which is 21 degrees of Aries. Now, the Eris Point is that 1 degree in the zodiac that truly represents like the rebellious spirit and the need to liberate oneself at basically any cost, to break the chains, to free ourselves, to stand up against anything that is enslaving us or hindering us or limiting us or holding us back so that we can really truly be in our truth. The Eris Point wants truth at essentially any cost. The Sabian symbol of 21 degrees of Aries, where the Eris Point is a boxer entering the ring. When the Eris Point is activated, we are ready for a fight in order to free ourselves from anything that we feel like is keeping us out of alignment with our truth. And with it being Mercury, this is in terms of our thoughts, this is in terms of our mind, this is in terms of our ideas, our understandings, our communication, what we're saying. And with this energetic in effect today, especially alongside the Sun Pluto Trine, like, are you serious? People want to stand in the sun, in the light. And it's funny because the degree, 21 degrees of Libra, where Mercury is today, that degree is a crowd upon a beach. So we really do collectively want to be in the sun. We want to be in the light, and we are breaking free from anything that is holding us in the darkness. And again, this is correlating to the Sun Pluto trine. The sun is the sun. The sun is the light. Pluto is the lord of the underworld, rules the darkness. And so this aspect, especially, just the Sabians too, it is completely mirroring the sun in trine to Pluto today. People are breaking free from anything that has been mentally constraining them, rebellion of thought, speech, and ideas, minds breaking free from limiting beliefs, limiting thought patterns, limiting perceptions of things, again, correlating to this mourning that we may be going through today about what past beliefs and what we've had faith in that we need to let go, so that we can embrace that true inner value, realign with our truth, realign with our authenticity. People may have some fighting words today, you guys. People may be really speaking their mind, really standing up for themselves, really not taking anything that is interfering with their ability to shine their light, anything that is keeping them in the darkness, anything that is keeping them enslaved to something that is out of authentic alignment with how they're really feeling and thinking right now, is quite likely to experience someone's wrath today. We'll put it that way. And this is a very collective thing too. This is happening all over the world with all of us. We're just feeling very called today to speak our mind, to stand up for ourselves. And it's a crowd upon a beach. We want to stand in the sun. We want to stand in the light. We are done with the darkness. We are done with the shadows. And we're we are going there today with the trine from the sun to Pluto, but we are coming out of it. We are coming back into the light, and we are leaving everything that we no longer need, that's no longer serving us in the underworld, where it can be recycled and where it can nourish new growth coming up to the surface into the future, okay? The next thing that I want to talk about today, it's sort of a dual aspect. We have Venus making an exact square to Saturn today. This is, okay, actually, I should have said in the beginning, this aspect is happening at, it's happening at 9:40 p.m. is the chart that I'm looking for Eastern time for the Sun Pluto trine. I'm looking at the chart for when that particular aspect is exact, and it comes exact at 9:40 p.m. Eastern tonight. And at that point in time, Venus will have moved from 7 degrees of Scorpio to 8 degrees of Scorpio, and for the exact to the minute trine from Pluto to the sun, Venus will be making an exact square from Scorpio to Saturn in Aquarius. And at that exact same point in time, the moon will also be in Aquarius conjuncting Saturn. So this is like a dual aspect. We have the moon conjuncting Saturn, and both the moon and Saturn in a simultaneous exact square to Venus at the moment of the exact to the minute trine from the sun to Pluto, while we have Mercury in an exact opposition to the Eris point. And first of all, to break this two-part aspect down, sorry, my chair is like super squeaky, you guys, sorry about that. The moon and Saturn, this can always make us feel like emotionally burdened or emotionally like heavy, sort of like emotionally restricted or closed off. It's definitely more of a heavy frequency and vibration. It can make us feel like a real internal sense of duty or responsibility towards something. And we may be feeling overly burdened or heavy emotions today if the structures in our lives are not satisfying the deep internal desires of our soul, okay? And, our soul, the moon rules our soul, and Venus and Scorpio rules like our very deep desires for things. And so with the simultaneous square from Venus to Saturn with the moon there, this might definitely be bringing up some conflict. Like I said, if the structures, the forms, the current like structures in our lives are not supporting and lining up with what our soul truly needs and what our heart truly desires. We are figuring things out, and it's causing these like deep internal shifts to occur, and it's causing us to speak out and to stand up and to walk away today from anything holding us back. And this is bringing up heavy emotions and a sense of internal duty or responsibility that is in conflict with what we know is aligned with the deepest desires of our soul that we can now see and reflect upon. I also want to talk about the Sabian symbols that are going on with this aspect because they're also relevant. We have Venus today at 8 degrees of Scorpio for this square to the moon in Pluto, and that degree is the moon shining across the lake. So not only do we have Venus in square to Saturn today with the moon forming a conjunction to Saturn, but Venus is also specifically referencing the moon herself by her placement. And the moon, you know, this is very reflective. This is very intuitive and very reflective. And so the placement of Venus today, it's like she's really reflecting on what she truly intuitively knows, she deeply desires. And Saturn rules forms and structures and boundaries and limitations and duty and responsibility. And so it's like any duties or responsibilities or obligations or structures or forms or boundaries in our lives that are keeping us from being able to really come into alignment with this deep intuitive soul yearning and this like heart's deepest desire energy could definitely be bringing up some conflicts. And we are definitely at a place right now, especially with Saturn being retrograde for this, where we are wanting to reform these structures and these forms and these foundations in our lives so that they are in alignment with that intuitive soul calling and with these deep desires that we are coming into contact with and that are truly in the nature of our heart. And so all of this going on today, and like I said, it's like they're all feeding each other. It's like they're all working together. It's like the sun in Pluto is really like causing us, like I said, to figure things out, and it's causing these deep internal shifts that are occurring. And this is causing us to activate this Mercury opposite the Eris point, to speak out and stand up and walk away from anything holding us back, keeping us in the darkness, keeping us out of the light, keeping us out of what we truly need to thrive and survive and really feel like a joy for life right now. And this is bringing up these heavy emotions, the moon with Saturn, and a sense of internal duty or responsibility, moon with Saturn, that is in conflict, the square, with what we know is aligned with the deepest desires of our soul, the moon, and our heart, Venus and Scorpio. And we're being able to see that and reflect upon it, the moon shining across a lake. We desire to reform foundations in better alignment, and this is really like the outcome of these energies today. Once we go through this process, once we go through this hero's journey today, once we go through this trip through the underworld, and when we come back up, it's really going to be producing this great desire to really transform these foundations in our life that are keeping us out of any, or limiting us or constricting us or frustrating our growth and movement forward into this true, authentic soul and heart alignment. The last thing that I want to say today, and this is regarding Mars. The only reason Mars is not making aspect today, but he is in Venus's sign of Libra while Venus is making this big aspect today. So I wanted to talk about the degree of Mars as well. He's at 2 degrees of Libra, and this Sabian symbol is the light of the 6th race transmuted to the 7th. So Mars today is also bringing up the theme of the light, and it's like the light that it's like we're breaking cycles with this energy. And really, ultimately, that's what this is doing, is it's breaking down generational cycles. It's purging the priesthood. It's purging the past belief systems that have kept us in a state of being unable to really, truly come into our true power and our true potential in order to co-create our lives and to manifest with universe in the way that can lead to our greatest fulfillment and our greatest abundance, which truly is what God and universe and spirit wants for all of us. God wants us to be the best versions of ourselves, to really develop and cultivate our true potential in every way and every capacity that we were born with. God, spirit, universe does not want us to not acknowledge or not utilize or waste our gifts and our talents and what we were uniquely given in this life when we were born, because each and every one of us has some very, very unique and special gifts. And if those are not cultivated and developed and served to humanity, then all of humanity misses out on that special intricate piece of the puzzle that only you have. And universe right now is really calling us all to step into our truth, our authenticity, our uniqueness, our talent, and cultivate that into its fullest expression, its fullest potential, so that we can then contribute that to the greater good. And really, it's like every little piece of the puzzle matters, and we really can't neglect anymore to come into our full capacity. And that is really what today's energy is about, breaking us out of generational cycles that have kept us for possibly generations from being able to really stand in that true full potential and capacity and contribute that special bit of universe, bit of God, bit of creative potential to the overall whole, the overall good, and to fill the void that can never be filled without that specific piece. So it's just a very powerful day, a very powerful, energetic. I also, you guys, drew a tarot card for today. I always ask God and universe, to give me a card, give me a message, give me a symbol that can clarify where the collective is at right now. And when I did that this morning, the first card that jumped out was the moon. And I just, again, with the irony, we have the moon in the conjunction to Saturn today, in the square to Venus, while she is literally at the degree, the moon shining across the lake. This, you guys, it's a light. We have a guiding light in the darkness, and we really need to follow our intuition. And when I looked on the bottom of the deck, which I usually do too, I'll pull a card and then I'll look at the bottom of the deck. It's the Nine of Cups, the Wish card, upside down. And so what we really need to do is we really need to be following our intuition right now, because that is how we make our wishes and our dreams come true. Any other way, anything other than faith and intuitive connection and internal guidance and internal knowing at this point in time cannot be certain to be guiding us down our own unique, individual, authentic path of truth and liberation. The moon also has a lot to do, it lights up the darkness. And today we are on a pursuit into the darkness and then back out of it. It also can, have to do with mystery about things, or a little bit of confusion about things, not knowing exactly, what's going on. But it really is speaking to that intuitive guiding light within our soul that knows the path, that knows the direction, that doesn't need anyone on the TV screen or anyone at all to tell it what to do, because it just knows. Okay. And so that really is the guidance today, and that is what we're all doing. And all three of these aspects are talking really about the same thing. It is ultimately a day of drilling down deep into things, really analyzing, really introspecting, really getting to the root, coming back up, figuring out what we need to break out of, and figuring out what we need to reform in order so that we can truly have that heart and soul alignment in terms of the structures and the actual material reality the physical reality in our lives. And remember, Saturn is also in Aquarius. So these new foundations are along the Aquarian themes. They're taking us in that direction. Today is a very integral part of our journey into the age of Aquarius. So that's what I have to say today, guys. Very powerful day. Leading us into the full moon in Pisces that is coming up this weekend. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the world today. It'll be interesting to see our experiences in, our daily lives. This is happening collectively on the world stage. This is happening personally in our own lives. So busy day energetically, profound changes, profound transformations, profound awakenings, profound insight and strength to speak our mind, to stand in our truth, and to really make some difficult changes, to let go of some things that may not be easy, but that will truly realign us with something so much more beautiful and fulfilling and enduring and long-lasting and stable going into the future. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. It really helps my channel grow when you guys do that. Leave me comments, you guys. I love your comments. I love interacting with you and hearing about your experiences and how these energetics are impacting you. I also have a Facebook page and a Facebook group if you guys are interested. If you want to contact me, my email address is aubreystarsastrology@gmail.com. And please come back with me tomorrow, you guys, so that we can see what's happening this weekend as we move towards the full moon in Pisces that's coming up, which is really going to be like this ultimate window of truly releasing everything that at this point in time we are realizing needs to be let go. Okay, have a beautiful day, everybody, and I will see you back here tomorrow. Bye.